세러데이 쇼다운 젠지 스포츠 대 OK저축은행 브리오.
With something short range, I think you are really going to struggle in the matchup. Ash has made it all the way through. And the one thing that I do think that you would really appreciate is Nong Shimir is a way to kind of non-committally start fights. Varus also does that. I don't think it's quite as good as the Ash Arrow, but that is going to be the lock-in here.
This is very curious. I think T1 have a really well-rounded composition. Still very magic heavy.
Yeah,
from like
extremely.
everywhere. So I'm interested to see whether like Gideon's just going to be immortal later in the game.
It's also the hard engage on this comp is pretty lacking. Like looking at what they have, there is so much range because I assume this will be Lethality, Varus, Jace, and Azir on the team. And engaging onto the T1 comp or the Nongshim comp is really hard. There's Poppy, there's Azir, there's Alistar. So if Nongshim play this cleanly, like the disengage is crazy.
Yeah, but Nongshim though, if they're allowed to get any space to breathe in this game, they could just win. It's a big gamble. Let's jump into the Rift for game number 1.
Another big factor, which was the Pace versus Torrent MVP debacle, to this day is an ongoing source of discussion amongst casters. It should come as no surprise.
I've forgotten about that one.
Yeah, it should come as no surprise.
I'm like re-mad about that.
Well, there's a dive angle here, though.
Wow, oh my god, he's almost just dead.
Base right now. Ooh, yeah, I think they know.
He does have flash, but I just don't know whether there's any way to live.
He might just be dead. Oh, the flash.
Good flash on the heroic charge.
Still though.
Right, yeah, they're looking for an angle here, as Smash could be the target. There's the headbutt, double pulverized from Lahens, as Gio just not really able to do anything because Ona's making his way forward. He picks up a Poppy and looks to see whether he can get rid of him, and there is first blood, and it goes to the Zeri. Flash forward here from Ona. They are not done yet. But actually they are, because Nongshim will make it to their turret still. The push is going to continue, and T1, yeah, this is angry T1.
Optimistic. I maybe thought with the slow that they could force Gio's flash. I think killing him there is always out of the question, or maybe Lahens knock up, but not quite going to be in range. It's another attempt at the play.
We're going for it one more time. That's another double pulverize, getting the flash this time out of Smash.
That's good. Good play.
Yeah, well played.
Gio has not been hitting these arrows. His Doran might be in trouble again.
Yeah, doesn't have flash this time around, so he's just going to get booped around like a ragdoll, and Gideon going to help Kingen grab his first kill of the game. You can see, so Kingen
missing Kingen.
All right, he's feeling pretty safe. Does have the flash, elects not to use it as he does then jump over, but the seismic shove comes in, and of course, he is just going to die.
I think he definitely could have helped. The moment you see that Talia wall, you're not getting out. Does Gideon just kill him?
He might. He's at least going to try. Let's see how this one goes. Yeah, okay. Good side steps. Zona's going to turn up, and Gideon has to flash. A little bit optimistic by the Poppy, as the teleport is going to bring Kingen back to lane. As we can see, Gold Lead now starting to move in favor.
Late, I think, and is just a little bit ahead. Nothing too crazy. We are really trying to put all eggs in the shut Doran down basket, as the Grub's now going to be fought over.
Yeah, Owner is at least going to be able to take one of them, so that is Void Mites activated here for T1. I believe Gideon will be able to at least steal one of them away, as they do go for a bit of a reset.
Owner might be looking.
Being some artillery here.
Yeah, to just cheekily smite one away, but no, not gonna. Maybe thinking about it. Even a single smite going to 5 would be nice. Not a necessity, but it looks like they want to try and go for that.
Yeah, smite actually going to be invested. Hex flash out from Gideon. Owner just barely unable to counter that, and 5-1 in Grub's going to be the thing here, as Gio going to have to flash. And there is another plate to come on down, as Kingen just playing 1v2, but there is a cheeky little cow here on the top side.
Doesn't know.
Looking to move in as well, and there is, doesn't quite find the angle there on the pulverize. As now Ona coming on down to meet Calyx, and Calyx says goodbye. Reads her.
Yeah, I had no idea that she was aware, but you know,
she knows all.
Very cute.
Have you heard of omnipotence? That's what Jisun has.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me. Nope. She is also always in our heads telling us what's going on. Prevention is not where you want to be, is Lahens.
Yeah, Faker going to look for him here as he holds the seismic shove for a really long time. Gets turned into a little snowman, which is adorable, and keeps his cool. Holds onto the flash. And Nongshim still holding onto this one, but it should be a 50-50 as he just gets rid of him. And that is just going to be a bit of a burst onto this Rift Herald, as there it is, it's stolen by Owner. Not going to be able to pick up this Azir with the Impale, and now Gio comes on over Carrier. Gonna have to get himself out of there as Lahens does have the ulti, and back in he goes! Oh! Smash gets taken by this Azir, but it's still feats of strength going over to T1. Gideon in a lot of trouble as well as Kingen. Gonna have to try and get out of there, but Faker, there is no way out for the Jace. And now Owner is running from Calyx, but he's got a blast cone, and Faker says, get out. Here's a wall, and step behind it.
And then,
Gio's just dead. Faker is just going to murder him underneath his own turret.
We don't even get, Lahens.
Okay, he's looking for some sort of angle here, as it's Carrier that he's elected to try and kill. He gets thrown back, though.
No flash.
Oh, Kingen, yeah, he comes on over. But they're not going to risk it because they don't know where Owner is, and we know that Owner was just on his way.
It itself was fine, but it's the run-off effect of this kill on Gio that, oh my guy.
Yeah, what are we doing?
Yeah, just walked up to cue the cannon. Gio's struggles, unfortunately, do truly continue. Not looking good. Calyx, though, looking great. No notes on him.
This game. And Lahens is going to have his back stopped, and maybe he is just dead. He does have his ultimate, so it might be that one that needs to be pressed first, but he doesn't even want to do that.
I feel like he should. I assume he has it at least with that TP angle, but not putting it down just yet. And yeah, Lahens dying. He's gonna go and make his way over, but Smash
taking a lot of damage. Yeah, exactly right. Otacon is going to soften them up here, as we know. They have a lot of DPS to try and take this one down as well. No vision given over, as
Gideon has his ult.
A teleport coming in from the Gwen as Lahens gets on top of Smash. The heroic charge comes down, and that is a piercing arrow to execute the Zeri. They're now losing so much of their DPS in this fight, as now Kingen positions behind his team, and we're flipping. We are going to land the Chains of Corruption, and there goes the jungler in support. They'll take the voracious Otacon. Calyx grabs his second against Doran, and Nongshim.
Calculating, you know, that's just not really who they are, so I could see a scenario where they don't really use the range to the maximum potential, just kind of run in. But they do get the dragon, and that's a really big deal.
Yep. I think the thing that's impressed me the most is how they've shut down Doran so effectively, even within...
Faker has been nearly as oppressive as he has been many of his other seasons thus far in spring. Gio.
This is looking somewhat oppressive if you were to ask Gio his opinion. He does flash away and has the barrier there as well. Headbutt Pulverize onto Owner, but he is looking mighty tanky right now, as Smash looking a bit worse for wear. Lahens presses his ultimate button and has to flash away, and that is a lot invested just to get there.
Yep. Don't see any pings. It's a T1 Baron! And they're getting T1'd!
Oh, look at all of the vision that they avoided.
It's gone!
It's just gone. It's just gone. They are masterminds. They are using T1 strategies against them. Now they're going to get the idea of what's going on, but there goes the Baron, and Lahens says, Owner, get the heck out of here. They might lose their Alistair, but I don't think they're too worried about that one. It's goodbye, Gwen. And the Impale is going to skewer him, but I mean, you can eat a kebab, but you're not going to win this game. I got to stop making the steak references. I really do.
I just needed the second to parse that one. I'm like, what? Kebabs? What? That's too expensive for a kebab, okay? Are you giving up a Baron? That's not worth.
That's the Wagyu kebab right there.
I do think that we talked a lot about Faker. I think this game he has been having a great impact on Celia. A lot of impact in side lanes, looking a lot cleaner.
They're getting engaged on. There's a free double pulverize there as Doran pulls himself over. Seismic Shove doesn't get Gideon over the wall as he flashes away. Some knockouts coming on through here as Smash has already grabbed a kill, and Owner, he comes on in, but Lahens has got an unbreakable will, and he's basically immortal. Kingen gonna take down the Scorpion and gets rid of Smash. Still, they're able to take down this Jace, and every kill that T1 gets is worth so much more because they're getting rid of the Barons.
Oh, that was very, very close in many occasions. In the end, I think T1, as you say, going to be happy with that trade 2 for 2. As, Calyx, he is not, should be afraid, I do think.
Yeah, there were no rocks on the ground, so he's able to shift his way out.
I think Calyx was actually looking for more there.
Whoa! Gio, what are we doing? We are baiting out the enemy team as they push Owner in.
It's a trap!
Still, he's looking for Gio, and maybe this is why Gio is playing like a plastic bag for the LCK. Second Infernal going to go over to Nongshim. I want to just consult the gold lead just for a moment. It's only 2,000. At
41, particularly with Doran as far behind as he is, does rely on him actually doing this. Kingen!
Oh dear. There's some mist. Doran going to have to get out of there. As Kingen, did he hit another one? It's Baron down, and Calyx and Gideon take that as an invitation. Lahens. He could be the target. He does have to use the ult to get out of the Impale. Flick back there as well as they are committing to this Baron. Doran's getting over there, but I don't know whether they're going to be able to do this in time as Owner is relatively low and they're still on this Baron. Owner is going to have to flash out, but there goes Calyx and it's Smash that's being the hero. The Baron will be locked down by Nongshim and now they really want to get out of there. Oh, that wild growth from Carrier says no to King and Jiu's on the wrong side of the map. Gideon, the last Baron left standing as he's going to get the flick. There goes the kill, and T1 right back in the driver's seat.
No worry whatsoever.
Nope.
I did not expect the Infinity Edge power spike to be that big a deal. As, they do not.
Well, actually tanking a little bit.
It's too much.
I don't think Calyx is going to be able to kill this minion wave.
Well, you will.
And they got 5 grubs.
There's the next one, right? The next one is Konga in. That's just it.
Yep. They're just going to be able to execute these turrets. Down goes the Nexus as well, and T1 just rip victory from the jaws of defeat in game 1.
크게 뛰어볼래? 알리 잡았어 일단. 이거 두고 보자. 할만해 천천히.
들어와 있어.
야, 나 위로 줄게. 아래 조심. 아래 조심. 나 위에 가는 중.
얘 아직 나 때릴 거야.
오케이. 알리 잡았어. 왼쪽 빠져.
바로 못해. 쌈 봐야 돼.
아. 할만해. 베니. 제이스 살기만 해볼래?
오케이. 높이에요.
야, 대거든.
내려가. 형, 나 봐봐.
위로 간다 우리. 가거든. 둘이서 해. 오케이. 나이스.
We did do a fair bit of damage. It was not nearly as much as what Kingen was able to provide.
And I thought the Calyx's damage was going to be higher. Kingen though, no notes.
Yep.
2 thumbs up.
Played. This is a champion that he's found a lot of success on in the past, but it was often in Kalista lanes. So he would often have a whole lot of extra pizzazz to play around post 6. And we'll see whether he's going to be just as deadly with MF at his side.
These setups, kind of crazy. Love Zinzao Galio, that one is a classic for a reason.
I am very worried about Pop Blossom being picked into Sylas.
Yeah, okay, so, well, Sylas already had like 50 rolls.
I still think Nongshim looking absolutely fine, but they looked fine in game number 1 as well. We'll see whether T1 can close this one out or whether Nongshim are bringing us to 3.
Yeah, it is dope. I have nothing to add.
Yeah.
Good thought.
Thank you. I've had good thoughts before, and I'm glad that there's proof now that I had a good one. Thanks to you for recognizing it. Awkward conversations aside, let's have a look at how this bottom lane is going to go as Lahens.
Imagine how to trade. I was about to say, if he hits the chain.
Yeah, and he does. That's the solo and the flash down for Doran. Oh god.
It's no flash.
It's gone from bad to worse, ladies and gentlemen, as Doran's level 3, and he's just dead. Gideon, was that like a level up? Oh no, he got the trial.
Max the impact in side lane, and I do think post first back he should be in a position that's a lot better. As
well, oh man, he was just confused.
Did you say what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what it sounded like to me. He's level 2.
Oh.
Doesn't even flash Gideon, by the way.
Could be all over as Owner is coming on up and Kingen not overextending. Oh, unless he is. Yeah, he is. He's just going to get executed. Owner comes in and takes that one as a freebie. Maybe a bit of an overextension there from good old Kingen.
BQ flash. Nicely done. Means that, again, Kingen's still ahead. I still think this matchup is looking roughest. Woo!
Flash traded here in the mid lane as Calyx tidies up the minion wave, gets some priority there as well as Gideon takes the first grub. This is also a very sneaky Gideon moving into the enemy jungle. Lahens going to join him there as well as Owner and Carrier looking to rotate around. A possible sandwich angle here is only level 5 for Jiu as well.
Calyx has his ult. They should know it. They should know at this point, though. But maybe not. We'll see. I don't think they're ready.
Yeah, Ona gonna get spotted here, but does spot out the rest of Nongshim as well as Lehens.
He clearly knew that something wasn't quite
Flash.
okay. Carrier.
Spotted. And wanders on out.
They know.
But remember, yeah, Lehens is there, does manage to get the cleanse this time around as the repel going to avoid the snare coming on through from Carrier as Doran with the nod just flashes on top of Kingin. Can he get the ult off? The answer is yes, as Doran's tanking it up and will go down. A 1-for-1 under the bottom.
But not a lot of armor yet. I'm sure eventually Bryce, as we all know, will become a turret as Kingin.
I've seen this one before, as in the meantime, we've got some grubs taken as well. Teleport back in from Faker, but it should be the first grub being taken at least. It's the rest of T1 wanting to fight for this. 3 versus 3, but it's a flanking Lehens. And Calyx is lying in wait as well. So 5 grubs going to be the answer. The arrow goes entirely wide as there is a Cocoon to interrupt the bullet time. Ona now getting a bit of a heal as the knockup comes through with the Pop Blossom. Still the heroic charge not going to be enough, and Carrier will be the answering kill. Calyx grabs that one, and there's a Justice Punch onto Faker. Lehens looking for a little bit more as they want to take the Realm Warp out as the taunt doesn't work. And Faker gets everyone to safety. Apart from
Take another look here.
Oh, right on the edge of the taunt.
Yep.
My goodness.
If he gets tagged by that, they probably all die. And
Yeah.
The game is looking very differently. Instead, it is a still 6, like Nongshim still won that, right?
They're in a bit of an awkward spot. Lehens going to turn up though, and they're looking to play aggressively. They will get the cleanse out of Smash immediately. Cocoon going to land there as well as Juice just walking at him.
Flash.
Frost shot going to connect. The volley's going to land as well, and there is nothing they could do about it. That's a huge knock from Kingin, who's just diving the turret. Ulti going to miss as Kingin will go down in the 1v1, but Ona now will find Gideon, and that's going to even it out for T1. They'll take a little bit more. Wind becomes lightning. There's a nice little heal there from Gideon as he's just fighting as best he can. But
T1's going to be happy, obviously.
Trying to predict a hop. But it doesn't actually happen there from Lehens.
I love Urgot. I think he's such a fun champion when he works as...
Carrier not going to quite find it. Immediately has to flash the arrow that Jiu is going to throw at him.
That didn't, involve him making a big mistake. As Doran is in an awkward spot here.
Yeah, I don't know about that one. He's going to try and hop away, but that's a really nice Cocoon. As Calyx kind of out of CC for now, and so Doran with the extra movement speed going to be able to get himself out of there. Does have his Trinity Force now done, as well as Merc Treads that look extraordinarily important. As in comes Carrier, pretending to...
They're just setting up as, it doesn't spot.
Yeah, all right. We'll see whether Kingin's going to be able to ward them off.
Tough.
He really wants someone to pick up turret aggro before he throws out the ulti, but there's Smash with an ulti of his own. He finds it.
Chains!
As Smash gonna have to flash for it, and he does pick up the kill. I don't think he had to flash for it. Maybe that I said that wrong. However, he did flash for it. Goes down. Nongshim are going to win out on the play. Still, they're able to defend, and Gideon is able to take the Rift Herald as Lehens taking a lot of damage. Teleport in from Faker is going to get him towards this top side. There goes the spider, squished like a bug. But still, it is the Galio being able to make it out relatively safe. I say safe, as they do get the taunt onto Faker here. Pop Blossom comes out from Carrier, who was pretending to be Ona there as the arrow is going to connect. Now Faker's in trouble, and Gideon, with the ulti running, is seeing what he can get done here. There's Kingin to lock down the first one. Chains land onto Ona. Smash taken down as well. Kingin, an absolute monster on this Silas. And Doran cannot catch up here as Carrier going down exceptionally low, or at least looking like he did as he was transformed. Still, Calyx is going to fall, and Doran looking to try and get out. Wind just barely not becoming lightning there. And Kingin, you can see, just desperately wanting to get another one, but isn't able.
No, we're not done fighting.
Yeah, Ona lying in wait. We've got a Rift Herald coming down as well, as it is going to be Gideon controlling the ulti, controlling the dragon, sorry. Now they're going to have to possibly get themselves out of here. Let's see whether they can. It's Pop Blossom from Kingin going to come on through. Down goes Doran before he can do anything at all. And T1, I think it's probably just time to cut your losses and get out of there. Lehens is looking juicy, but I don't think T1 are going to be able to do too much more. Just controlling the mid lane as best they can. Cocoon going to land. Lehens, I don't know about this. Gideon also very, very low. As the Hawk Shot coming on through, and we've got some backs being channeled.
Oh, he does get the cancel on the back. That is nice. Means Faker, but comeback, he's still at 2 items. So is it just gone?
Well, it's down to 4,000 health. They're focusing it, and yeah, I don't know whether Owner's going to be able to get it here. He does, and he steals it away. Highway robbery here from T1 is now Gideon. Gets the, Kingen gets the flash in. They take down the Nico immediately. There's the knockup onto Faker. He is completely taken out. And now Lehens, he will be taken by Doran, but Faker is still in trouble, and there is the taunt to finish him off. Doran goes down as Chiu gets his hands on this Gnar, and over the wall comes Calix, or at least he tries to. Not going to be able to there, and they'll settle for a kill under the misfortune. Only Owner left standing. How many of these petals will they
nicely done there again by
Oh
Calix.
yeah, Carrier actually coming over here and stealing away a bunch of these petals.
They're basically even. Nongshim, I'm pretty sure, is also or was also at exactly 26.
All right. So not exactly end of the world as in comes Owner, and they are just going to kill Lehens. He does repel, gets onto a Mega Blast Cone, and never mind, they don't kill Lehens, they try to kill Lehens. And Lehens says no. As there's a taunt on to Carrier here, who's dead. Walked in, Gideon engages on top of him. The rest of T1 a little bit too far away though, and down goes the jungler. Arrow also gonna narrowly be hopped here by Doran. And Kingen is in the mid lane, just defending here at the same time. Yeah, there's no smite here anymore. Owner cannot smite when he's dead, ladies and gentlemen. This is what I'm discovering.
That was the game plan!
Oh god, Kingen also has a Gnar ultimate here. Is going to be really dangerous if T1 go for a counter engage. So the Baron is just gone. The bullet time is an attempt, but it's a failure. And the first Baron, once again, here in game number 2, is going to go over to Nongshim.
Right, not able to actually show up to the fight, not having the pop loss.
Oh, Owner thinks that he's found an angle, but instead it's Lehens that cocoons him up. The rest of T1 are turning up, but Gideon is ignoring them. When becomes lightning, Owner is going to get taken down so incredibly low as Kingen finds an ulti, Chiu finds an arrow. He knocks it, he takes down Bristle and Sejuani. And now T1 looking to try and defend their inner turret, but these are Baroned up minions. These are 6 grubs. And Nongshim are having none of it.
Atlas, by any chance, have you looked at your hands recently?
Yes. Oh man, it's quite moist. I'm not gonna lie, there is game all over these hands, Chronicler.
Well, it doesn't have to be wet. It could just be game.
It is though. It's really warm in here.
Smashing carry and not doing so hot. This is kind of feeling like a rehash of what happened against Hanwha Life, where Owner was the only one that looked okay, and then eventually even he went down.
Oh god, Faker taking so much damage here. That's 3 damage items here for Calix as he realm warps his way out. The fake smash moves in, which terrified me, I'm not gonna lie. Thankfully there is the Nico hue on the champion.
The Baron perfectly ends up setting up for the Kentek Soul.
Yeah.
Nongshim might have actually done it this time around, Atlas.
Well, you say that, and you also often say that curses aren't real. I don't need to worry about that too much. And T1, they know that they need to fight for this one. In goes Gideon, just deciding to start off the fight. I don't know about that one, as the ulti does come on through, and he does stay alive. But he's going down relatively low. Kingen on a flank angle finds an Gnar ulti once again. He's been so good with these. I think mainly because he likes playing Gnar. And so he's pretty good at it in general. Doran has a Gnar bar in perfect position though as Calix gets engaged on. He just goes into his Zhonya's though. That's going to buy a lot of time here as they take the Soul. And Chemtech Soul is going to help them so much. Look at these health bars already prepared as the Pop Blossom does nothing, but the Gnar does everything from King, and bullet time is just going to get immuned by the 2 members of Nongshim, and the Realm Warp does work, but it just tries to buy time. It just tries to get them out of there, and T1 is still going to die. And we are then going to go to 3 games. Here we are, Nongshim. They find the angle here in game 2.
Nongshim got close in game 1, but it wasn't quite enough. The Baron ended up being their downfall. That start of the fight with Gideon getting chunked, I was worried, but I needn't be, as Nongshim knocking down the Nexus.
나로 누공이야, 나로 누공이야. 야, 미코.
야, 니코부터. 니코. 나. 야, 미코.
나 한대 따랐고. 야, 위에 볼래? 나 이거 벌써 있어.
축구래. 가자. 가도 돼, 지금.
아, 여기까지 할게.
가자. 라이즈도 높을?
받아.
나이스.
잘하는데, 우리?
현민이 잘한다.
잘하는데. 아, 이대형인데 어떤 놈이? 아, 이대형인데.
야, 범인 범인 이거 미안하다. 가자 범인 누구야?
범인 내 옆에 있어.
범인 누구야? 미안하다. 범인 지우야?
아, 이대형인데요.
범인 찾아봐. 범인 누군데? 형이잖아요. 형이 범인이야 형이.
I think Kingen has been my main character for this series thus far. I think in the early game, his Silas was absolutely fantastic. And even though there were some hiccups, there was T1 taking some control of the map. Nongshim with that incredibly proactive Baron play, and then just they took the whole game away from T1 after that. They made all of the right map movements. They made sure that they got that Chemtech soul.
One man foresaw this when no one else did.
And no, it's not going to be that. It will be the Tahm Kench. So Carrier's famous engaged Tahm Kench
This is
coming on through, but it's into Rakan. Isn't Rakan often picked as like an answer to the Tahm Kench because, you know, you want to be standing next to each other and stuff?
from a comp perspective. This is like a crazy Kench angle,
Oh, yeah.
right? Because you are, oh my God, do it.
Oh,
King and
God, the GP. And if
No.
ever there is an ego pick angle, the GP into Sion from Kingen is certainly looking at that. But also it fits, you know, you've got like a lot of these globals and things like that playing for side lanes with the Nocturne on top of the fact that you have the Cannon Barrage is really going to skew things if they are going to be playing for the late game. Not to mention Killer Instinct from the Kaiser as well.
So the T1 comp looks amazing if you can get past the first 20-odd minutes.
The engage Kench is very, very strong. Nongshim, though, a very aggressive composition, a lot of side laning power. Two very different styles clashing here in Game 3.
One other thing that I do have to mention is obviously Smash has a range advantage in this matchup. Rakan Xayah is also, or Rakan Kai'Sa rather, is also notoriously picked for everything after lane. It's a really
Looking for a little bit of a reset angle by the looks of things. Didn't have a lot of the blue stuff as Smash is going to get ignited. Jiu looking for an angle here as the Battle Dance gets the Rakan out of there before the Flame Trump is on, as we can see. But Calyx is in a whole bunch of trouble. He's going to have to flash. Gets out of the way of the gravity field, but thank goodness he didn't walk.
And her laning phase, her weak laning phase can be kind of negated. It's Smite Fight.
Yep, going to be secured here by Gideon. Nicely done. Takes away the first one. The rest of Nongshim are grouped up, but you can see Smash and Carrier moving on down. And that should be able to secure the remaining two grubs, but denying the feat of strength. Going to be nice here.
Flash though, he also has Smash, but Smash is in the top lane.
Yep. Standing in the brush, as we can see. Zap going to come on through there as Jiu able to get out, but Lahan's not going to be as lucky. He has another charge on the Battle Dance, though, and the idea, you know, following up on any sort of skirmish, Nongshim always need to be careful of the follow-up. Speaking of follow-up, Cannon Barrage coming in immediately as there's the Devour used, but the knockoff keeps them in place. First Blood goes over to the Nocturne. The Flame Chompers with the massive value as it's not quite out, but Calyx comes in. Spirit rushes in, Spirit rushes out, and then dies. Faker gonna... Lahen's now moving on over here as Calyx trying to avoid this gravity well. Oh, Grand Entrance not quite going to work out here as the Charm will connect onto Faker. Charged away from, but it's a 1 versus 2 here. And Ona now moving on over Gideon. Looking for this fight once again. Off a fresh buy, but still with that control that they had on that top side. It's going to reward them with these grubs.
Smash will just kind of run the fights later on.
Ooh, Carrier face checking Gideon here. He will get a little bit frightened, as we can see. Lahen's turning up as well as the quickness comes down. They do manage to get a charm, but the rest of T1, they're turning up faster, and there's the teleport in as well from the Sion. Flame Chompers will be eaten, and so is Lahen's. As Ono looking to come on over, gets that transformation as the Viego, of course, from Kingen.
They need to dive, because this is very costly. No one is matching Kingen right now. Faker's on his way, but we'll see if this works.
Yeah, Cannonbra. Oh, right on the edge of the queue, and down goes the Nocturne in the blink of an eye. Ono now gets a turn.
I think they got the crash in anyway, so probably someone would have died. Gideon looking for an ult again.
Yeah, and there it is. Once again, it's the Paranoia to come on out. They get the knock up there as well as the Jinx is very healthy, and there is the triple knockup from Carrier. Ona turns up as well, but the barrels explode for a lot of damage, and Lahan's going to need to try and get himself out, does so with the grand exit. As Calyx also invested ulti to try and stop Faker there, as we can see, avoiding these orbs of deception really nicely.
Ideally for grabs as well, that's going to be feats going over to T1.
Yeah. So turret going to be secured. Upgraded shoes coming on in there. As Lahan's, you can see, really wanting to find an angle. They dive onto Carrier, who does have the great health, eats it, and still goes down. The train is going to land. Massive double knockup. Super Mega Death Rocket comes in, but Smash is going to get CC'd by Lehens. One more auto required, but look at this. T1, they just say, we've got a train, and we will just run you over. No! And you cannot even get it. Oh, no. That is insult meeting injury. That is an ace, and T1 take full control.
Doran actually saving the game there.
Yep. Just stomps Nongshim. I think next best is Nongshim plays up to T1, and T1 is still able to put them down.
GP's got, oh no, not a miss. Oh, it's a bait!
Yeah, it is, and Faker goes down exceptionally fast here as well as Kingin. Gonna have to eat some oranges, but Faker is actually gonna stay alive. Teleport comes in from Calyx as the zap will protect the president. Now that is an immediate charm onto Doran, but he's a brick wall, and they're not gonna be able to get in there.
Things are not looking too hot for Nongshim. Even though, again, I think there are comps of their element that scale well. There is the Kaisa, which eventually does get to the point where if you can get access to Jinx and Kench isn't near, you can blow her up.
Oh, Kingin's found Doran. Kinda. Well, actually, he's taken real damage. In comes a Kaisa to try and help out as well as the barrels are connecting. He just wants to get to a good position, but doesn't have the ulti anymore. As the knockup comes down, but he is still going to die, ladies and gentlemen. The trial is by fire. As Faker does turn up. And
they have to be a little careful here.
Away, yeah. Lahan's going to get engaged on, and there's the chain CC. The Rakan nowhere to go, although does at least manage to get the ability off, but that is going to be Ona securing the kill. Turns into a Rakan of himself. And will be able to now look for the Otacon as this outer turret does fall, but the Otacon will do the same thing, and this is going to give them a whole lot more as well. As all of these blood petals come on through, they get all the experience and all of the extra damage. Yeah, it's a rough one for Nongshim.
Nongshim going for the classic, well, I guess we cross-map.
Has spawned, and that is just immediately going to go to T1.
This is gone. There's no way for them to really contest.
Nice sidestep there from Faker. He's going to be able to avoid barrel damage.
Yeah, we're looking at, you know, Hail Mary barrel, not the player.
As well as Kingin, he's going to try and go for it once again. As
Passive does a lot of damage.
Doran not going to be able to get the ulti to work out as the immediate follow flash comes through. Cannon Barrage says that there is no way Chiu's going to show up as well. They're investing a lot to kill this Scion, and kill him they will. It's just at what cost? As here in the mid lane, we are going to find out. As Calyx dancing around does manage to take down the minion wave.
Really hard.
Oh, Kingin just not able to get any of these barrels. Does eat some oranges in order to get out of the way, but that is going to spell the death of the inner turret. So
I feel like he really wanted Celestial with how a lot of this is played out.
Oh, the charm just not really going where it wants to. As the Chaos Storm gets every flash under the sun. Kingin going to be the first to go down, and that, like you said, is just going to spell the end. Oh, Void Seeker almost killing Ona here, who's still ticking down as there's the paranoia to finish him off. I think it's a one-way trip, though, as Gideon trying to get himself out of there. The zap going wide, the knockup not connecting, and he has the spell shield. Oh my goodness, is he out of there? No, Tongue Lash going to come on through. The zap not quite going to work out, and there's the Fear Tether. He sidesteps the next Tongue Lash, and there is a Mega Cone to get into safety. I think there was a flash in there from Faker.
Wait, did he get Drake?
Roars. Okay, yeah, maybe they're going to be able to get the Drake as Gideon going to Fear Faker, and now he's continuing his merry jaunt. He now knows that he's dead, but that was, you know, he made that choice.
Here, though.
Yeah, Cannon Barrage not available just yet. Alex going in, misses the charm, and gets crashed into, or at least Kingin does. He needs to get out of there, but he has no options. Over the wall goes Calyx. Land's going to follow him, but Ona gets over there as well with a Heartbreaker. And now T1 looking for even more. Super Mega Death Rocket just to make sure that they get out of there, and they do so. It is only the Gangplank going down, but he's dead for 40 seconds time. And so that Cannon Barrage that's up in 4 is going to have to wait as well. As Doran's over the wall, but this Baron has been started. Void Seeker going to at least get on in there, and Gideon does have Paranoia, so
flip it.
They might be able to make this a 50-50. Still, it's exceptionally dangerous as the charm is going to come through onto Doran.
One-way ticket.
There's the Paranoia, and he needs vision. He needs to be able to click on someone to get in. The triple knock up there from Doran as well, as the Baron is now low. In goes Lahan's over the wall, they go. The Baron is still at 1,000 health as Gideon unable to to get it because Owner is the king of smites. Calyx able to get himself out, but the fight is well and truly lost. And T1 are going to look to push for the win.
It was Smash!
All right.
How
of
did
course.
Smash get it?
Well, maybe because Gideon died. Because they just ignored the Baron. It was really smart stuff there from T1. A swift call to say, we are killing them. We are not going to take down the Baron.
It's the Smash Splash damage, Atlas!
Oh, God.
He got them! Oh, God.
Well, okay. Maybe the game isn't over just yet.
Let's,
As, you know. And they're just guarding this siege minion.
So
Doing
30
his best
seconds.
to clear out
Bot
vision
lane
where he
is
can.
on.
And Doran's doing it. He is making the play. Yeah, where he just walks up, tanks the turret, minions stay alive, and the second inhibitor is going to go down. Nongshim, it's up to them to try and start a fight here. And they do have all of their buttons available.
Unless...
All right.
T1 are going to play it slow.
Smash gets tagged.
They're really spamming those.
They really like load them
Lehens?
up. As Lehen's just
He's
taking
fine.
a cue for
It's fine.
fun.
It's bait! Oh, no.
Yeah, well, they do manage to get a charm onto Faker, who just goes golden. Lehen's now just going to get knocked up and taken down. Sometimes you just have a Zhonya's and you're just feeling fantastic as Ona Heart breaks in. Jiu gonna have to flash as Ona gets over the wall and just flashes on top of him. He goes golden as well though, and it's another charm that's looking pretty good. Death's Daughter rains down onto Ona, but he's able to get himself out of there. And Nongshim, they are bleeding. They've lost a Rakan, but they have a few of their tanks, their damage dealers still left alive. But Doran just doesn't take damage. And now Carrier's diving forward. Down goes the gangplank. Carrier will fall, but he's making the sacrifice for his team. And the GA is procced. The Nexus is exposed, and T1 will be able to take down Nongshim.
Faker. Yeah, Victor, with the current build, is not squishy.
Yeah.
He has Rod of Aegis and he has Zhonya's, but no, Nongshim have to try and go
Doran's
Mary.
health bar, it is obscene.
Like 5.5k health, close to 6.
Yeah, I think it's closer to 6.
바텀 웨이브 개 많아 이거.
I don't know what it really looks like.
There you
It
go.
always
Actually,
has like
as
a
you're
massive
saying,
shield.
look at that.
Just tanking all the turrets.
가봐 와봐.
And then Carrier goes in, and you know it doesn't even matter that they lose a couple, as they are able to take down this turret. Having a listen, communications are looking good. You can see it's not a massive amount of excitement. It's more sighs of relief here from the T1 players. As we have a look at the damage numbers, and Faker, a phenomenal performance here on the Victor in game number 3.
That really felt like a sigh of relief, you know? I wasn't quite EDD level sigh of relief. I think T1, because again...
The audible thank God
also,
without saying thank God.
Exactly. I think T1 obviously still looks shaky, but we have to acknowledge, Nongshim is just a good team. That's where we are. They are very clearly, at worst, the 5th best team
Let's
in the
give Owner his POM.
Lock it in.
Bring it up. Here we go.
Imagine if we were both wrong and it's not Owner.
Nah, that'd be crazy. There's no way that it's not Owner.
It might be Faker.
No.
I mean, I think it should be Owner.
Owner just...
Thank you very much, guys. This is here for the POM interview translation, joined by Faker on the side of T1, who just defeated Nongshim Red Force. Congratulations! Thank you. Faker, this is your first POM of 2025 LCK regular season. How do you feel? During this regular season, we already had 2 losses, so today's match win was so important. And I'm really glad that we're able to secure it today. Yeah, in games 1 and 3, you displayed such dominance and earned your POM today. And so what's your secret for playing so well despite the changes in the meta? You know, it must be because we're doing our best. There are some difficult moments, like the Game 2 defeat. So what aspect did you keep in mind while playing today? For Game 2, I think I felt like it was really hard to face the team in terms of team fighting. So I think that's just something that we try to focus on improving afterwards. And today, the 2025 2007 born mid laner, Calix played for Nongshim today, and that's a heaping 11-year age difference with you. So how did it feel playing against him? You know, it's so surprising that there is a 2007 born players on stage. And for sure, today, Calix did play above expectations, and that's what really brought today's match to this degree, and it was a great match today. And the AP mid item, Rod of Ages, is a hot topic lately, and the analyst has highlighted the importance of this item. Yet we noticed that we sometimes skip this item at times. So how do you rate Rod of Ages? No, I think this meta really focuses heavily on damage and CC. So I think Rod of Ages is one of those many itemization paths that you can take as a mid laner right now. There's been some analysis on how important the top side is in the current meta. So how did you think of the Viego pick today? I think the enemy comp, because they're going for that rush comp with Nocturne, I think that's just something that we've tried to deal with that counter pick. So with the importance of the top side, so the top and jungle and mid, what are your thoughts as a mid laner? I think lately, besides the top side being so heavily focused, I think bot lane is just as important. And any words for your fans? You know, this is so early on during the regular season, and despite us not underperforming, I want to make sure that we are able to come back and show even better performance. And thank you so much for the ongoing support. And that's the end of the interview with Faker, and back to the space. Thank you.